Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Trump underperforming a little bit. We're going to go through that. I realize it's something I have said a few times, and thanks to an incredibly eloquent message that I received, I realize that maybe I haven't gone into it in any way. I've just said he's underperforming, and perhaps a better explanation is needed. So we're going to just kind of run through that. Let's see what our very inspiring poet had to say. Trump's underperforming, question mark, all caps. You clown, all caps. List one way, just one way, in which Trump is underperforming. You female dog. He's winning, person who engages in acts with other men. Check the polls, you female dog. He's leading that senile ice cream sniffer, you losing. I'm assuming that means loser. Okay, so here's the thing. When I say he's underperforming, I mean in a whole bunch of different ways, from him not being able to unite the party behind him to fundraising. But rather than me give you a whole bunch of different categories, let's just do what you said. Check the polls. Obviously, you believe that he is performing well by the polls. So let's look at that. We could start in New Hampshire, where he was supposed to beat Haley by 18 points, but he only beat her by 11. So that's a 7-point difference. He's underperforming. I know you're saying, well, that's just one. Okay, South Carolina, where he was supposed to beat her by 28 points and only beat her by 20. That's an 8-point difference, underperforming the polls. We have checked them now. And to be clear, those aren't the only times that's happened. So what's occurring is you're saying he's performing well because of the polls. The polls that show him at most, 3 or 4 points up, doesn't really help if on the day of he's down 7 or 8 points, right? The polling is not actually great. Why? There's a whole bunch of different reasons being floated around. There's 3 that I think are worth addressing. One is the one that's being pushed out the most by the people responsible for the polling, which is that it's undecided voters. Yeah, sure. All of the undecided voters, they decided to break one way for one candidate. Nobody's buying that. That's not it. That's definitely not it. The other is electorate composition. And that's like a super technical way to say unlikely voters. What they think is happening is that the people conducting the polls, they're getting their measurements right. They're actually able to transfer everything correctly, but they're asking the wrong people. Yeah, I think that has something to do with it right there. That's probably it. Again, something that has factored into like the last couple of elections. Yeah, that may have something to do with it. That would track. The other thing is a non-response bias. That means some people are not participating in the survey and they make up a chunk of one group, meaning those people more likely to pick up the phone if the call is from an unknown number are more likely to support Trump. Therefore, there's a bias in his favor in the polling. Generally speaking, non-response bias isn't really a thing in most cases. In this case, yeah, I think that has something to do with it. I think it's a combination of the composition of the electorate and a non-response bias that's creating this. Trump is underperforming. I'm sorry. Look at the fundraising as well. There's that going on too. it's important not to get complacent, but it's also important to remember that a whole lot of people who provide commentary on this have a vested interest in it being close. And a whole lot of people who provide commentary on this have a vested interest in portraying Trump as if he is unstoppable. If he was unstoppable, he wouldn't be the former president. He is, in fact, already proven to be a losing. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.